Some things should be said.
Or shouldn't.
Oh, it's on.
With Juan
and Sean. All right, welcome to episode number 3 on Oh, it's on.
With Juan
and Sean. And thank you for tuning in. If you listened to the first 2 episodes, you survived a lot. But if this is your first venture into episode number 3, then welcome, where we talk about whatever topic that we have. One thing we've been failing to do is talk about where you can find us, which is on Facebook.com/OIO for Oh It's On Pod, P-O-D, or Twitter at OIO Pod. And Juan just pointed out we haven't been mentioning the beer of the episodes lately. So go ahead, Juan, pitch us.
And today's beer of the month, which I've never had before. So we decided, you know what? Let's start with domestic beers. And so I went into the store, I looked around, I saw so many domestic beers. You know, back in my childhood days, you know, when I was a young little lad, I was like, oh, okay, you know, I had, you know, the Ultras, Miller Lite, something like that. And I see something called Bud Light Platinum with a 6% alcohol volume.
Did you say you were drinking in your childhood days?
When I was a young lad.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, no, I wasn't drinking. You know, it's like it's like your old man, you know, tells you like, hey, go get me a beer. It's like, oh, damn. And so I don't know, you're like about what, like 2-3 feet tall, maybe less than that.
Yeah.
You open that fridge, you grab that beer, it's like so big in your little tiny hands. And you're taking to your pops. You're like, here you go, Dad. All excited. And he cracks it open. He swigs at it. It's like, that's a real man right there. He's like, here, have a taste. But like, once again, disclosure, I did not give an age.
He did not give an age, ladies and gentlemen. So welcome to episode number 3. And if you want to email us, or you can tweet us or message us on Facebook or post. But if you want to email, ohitsonpod@gmail.com, because OIO pod, like our Twitter and Facebook, was already taken. But so episode number 3 is going to be about what Vegas is like, what it's like to live here. But we're going to talk about just basically, we'll have a few of these episodes on down the road, certain specific things. But this is just the overall, like, what it's like to live here.
Exactly. And once you got our email, Facebook, Twitter, you know, if you want to leave a comment, what you guys want to hear about, also what you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Any, you know, grass bitches complaints.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to address them.
Oh, he'll be really happy to address them.
Oh, yes, I will.
Oh, especially what if we have a liquor night?
That's like the best.
Okay. So, yeah. So what Vegas is like. So what about you, Juan? Why and how did you end up moving to Vegas?
Well, it's many, many moons ago.
Many.
And that was like years. So, you know, living in California, cost of living there is like freaking extremely high. I came out here with a couple of friends to party. And, God, that was like in early 2000s.
Oh.
Like 2004. And from there, when we were just partying, I was like, you know what? Screw that. I ain't leaving this place. I kid you not. This is what I did. By MGM, there's like a Motel 6 or a Super 8. I can't remember what the hell it's called. Went there. I just got like a full week's pay. I went there, paid for a full week to stay there. And it like ran me like about like $100.
Yeah, back then.
Back then, I was like, sweet. And I went just job searching. So the first job I got there, and this was like, God, I always say like the second day of just job searching, because I come from a military background. So I was looking at you know, security or trying to get in with Metro. But I got in with this nightclub called Rum Jungle. It was like a restaurant.
This was literally your first job?
Yes.
Because you've told me about this. I did not know this was your legit on your second day.
Second day here.
Oh, God.
So they were like, well, we'll just pay you the minimum. I'm like, well, okay, what the hell's the minimum? It was like $6.45. Yeah, it was like $6 and like 45 cents. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But to me, I was like, okay, you know what? It's just something, just like little, you know, money on the side besides draining my bank account.
And what was the job?
Well, the job was being a busser for the restaurant and then / busser for the nightclub.
Okay.
So the first night I worked there,
Ooh.
well, it wasn't the first night. It was like after I got my little training out of the way.
Oh, wait, hold on. First, tell us about Rum Jungle, because it's not around anymore.
It's no longer around. So Rum Jungle used to be a restaurant from noon to night. And it was more like a Brazilian fusion kind of like where you walk around and you give like different styles of meats and
A Brazilian steakhouse.
exactly. And then after the restaurant was shut down, it would turn to a nightclub. And this was like one of like the first nightclubs there because they had one of the first ones that started bottle service.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, this is Mandalay Bay.
This was inside Mandalay Bay.
Oh, jeez. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I didn't know that either because I didn't know any better. You know,
You're here on your second day. Looking
so
for work.
So then that night I started working. Well, after my little training,
Quote unquote, as he burps.
exactly. So I start working. It's like, okay, you need to help out like the cocktail waitresses with their bottle service. Just clean up the tables and make sure the guests are happy. I'm like, all right, cool, no problem, could do that. So it comes out to once we're all done, it's like, oh, we get our tips at the end of the night. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, bro. It's like people tip here, so you get your tip out. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah. So, I'm there. It's like they give us our tip out, so they give it to us like a little almost it's like cash money.
As a busser.
I open it, and it was like over $800.
Oh.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, is this for real?
Were you a tipped employee technically, or no?
That they had because here in Vegas they have what's called already it's considered it's like because of the IRS, it's like they can't gauge it, so they automatically have like a tip compliance. It's like, okay, this is what automatically is going to be taken out of your
paycheck.
Your paycheck.
Yeah.
So every time my paycheck came out, it was like $40-something, $50,
Yeah.
which I didn't care.
Oh yeah.
Because you're making, this tip money every day. It's like, God, I've never seen anything like this. Especially when it's like the end of the week, dude. You're walking out with more than, let's just put it like on a really down low back in the day. You're walking out with $2,000 a week.
Oh.
Just for that 1 5-day period, you made just $2,000 in cash.
Oh, just $2,000.
Just $2,000. I mean, and that's the lowest amount I'm talking about. It's like, like it sucked. This whole week sucks. So you're working out with $2,000.
And that's what that hooked you into Vegas.
That hooked me here, and not on top of that, it's like nothing closes.
Yeah.
Everything's open 24/7.
Yep.
You need to go to the supermarket, it's open. You know, get a drink, it's open. You feel like eating, it's open.
Yeah.
You want to take a dip in the pool? Damn, this weather's great.
Yeah.
Let's go jump in the pool.
During the summer.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's what ultimately brought me to Vegas too. Like, so I was a flight attendant. I was loving it. But it came to the point. So I worked for an airline called Com Air with an M, not Con Air. And which everybody asks, but we were owned by Delta, so we just said we were Delta, but Delta was like closing down Comair, and I was getting kind of tired of working there because nobody cared anymore. So everybody's calling in sick because everybody's leaving. Like so many people were leaving, and everybody is telling me you need to go to college, and I had the GI Bill. So I talked to a friend who was in the Army, and he said, go to the Art Institute. And I was like, okay. But I was like, where should I go? And I was thinking to myself, where am I always going? At least twice a month, I was flying to Vegas.
Wow.
Because I was based out of JFK and Detroit, and there was, especially out of JFK, New York, there was like 12 flights a day direct, and I could get on all of them. And especially when I could fly on Delta, I got first class.
But quick question: why not stay in New York?
Because their bars closed at 4 a.m.
Damn.
And I was like, this isn't the city that never sleeps. I want to go to the actual city that never sleeps. And New York is expensive, dude. Like a 1-bedroom apartment in Manhattan was $3,000 a month.
And what year was that?
This was 2011, 2010.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I love New York, dude. Like, I miss New York. I'm planning on going back there this year for a few days.
But would you live there?
No, well, you could live in a borough, like you could live in the Bronx or something.
And you know what? And it's true because the reason.
Have you been in New York?
No, but the reason I left California because back then when I left it, I was renting a studio for $1,300. This was like
a studio.
That's like back in 2000. Ooh. And when I came to Vegas, it's like I rented a 4-bedroom house, 2 stories, 2-car garage with a pool, $750.
Oh god,
$750
like
at that
almost
time.
Half.
I was like, I can't leave this place.
Yeah. No, when I first moved here, I got a 2-bedroom apartment in a nice spot. Well, it wasn't the nicest area, but within a 15-minute walk of my 2-bedroom apartment, there was Barley's, which we're going to be talking about Barley's. We love Barley's. And Barley's, if you are coming through Vegas, Barley's they still have one of the best happy hours, but it's only an overnight happy hour now.
But it's still great.
Oh my god.
Where else can you have like about 9 people with you be ordering shots, ordering beers, ordering food, and the bill does not even come to close to $100?
Yeah,
not even close.
I had a birthday a few years ago, and I started my birthday right at midnight. My party, it's like 9 or 10 people showed up. It was kind of a last minute thing, and all night. Well, not all night. People started leaving like at 4:00, but I paid for everything, all the beer, all the food, and it came out to like $98. And that was, everybody was having a good time. A few people had to drive, so they didn't drink a lot. But anyways, so I moved here because I was coming here like twice a month. When I got first class on Delta, I'd already be drunk when I got to Vegas because I was in first class and all the drinks are free. And I'd go, if I was here for less than 2 full days, I wouldn't get a room. I would just pack extra underwear in my like blazer, and I would just throw away my old underwear. And I would.
Good man.
Yeah.
You know who does that?
Who?
Karen Diaz.
What?
Yeah, she doesn't wash her clothes. She's like, fuck it, I'm rich. She's like, oh, clothes is dirty, chuck it, go buy some new ones.
I brought like a hygiene kit with me. I had if I didn't wear my Scott E vest, which are amazing for traveling, by the way, if you don't have one, but I would clean myself often. It's not like I just partied and just go back on the plane like drunk as balls. But so yeah, I was coming here all the time, and I love the fact that it was a 24-hour city. That's the thing that let me down about New York. But don't get me wrong, living in New York was great. And maybe we'll do a whole podcast on living in New York. And you need to go. You would love New York, dude. I could see you totally just loving the city.
Yeah, I hear the women there are aggressive.
I never encountered that, but I didn't care. I was just out having a good time. Maybe they were. I don't know. I do know. Really quick side note about New York. One of my favorite things to do, I would usually drink in the south side of Manhattan, and bars would close at 4, and I would either just walk if I was close enough, or I'd get in the subway and go up to Rockefeller Center, where SNL, The Today Show, all those New York shows everybody knows. And I would be on the Today Show, like drunk, just there, just excited. But there were so many soccer moms, like at these things. And
God, I love soccer moms.
Yeah. And I don't know why they would buy me hot chocolate. There was a coffee shop like right next to the Today Show. And I could count on one hand how many times, like, they were like, "Do you want some hot chocolate?" And I'm like, "Sure." And we'd go right over there, and I was like, "Why are you by? What's like?" By that time I was getting kind of tired because I'd been up all day and all night, and I was just like, well, "This is so weird. Like, why are they doing this?"
Maybe it was like a.
They had wedding rings on.
But maybe it was like one of those like little secret passwords. You want hot chocolate? Sure.
Oh,
let's
yeah.
go.
It may have been. But I
mean,
was.
if it's that late and little sucker moms staying around,
But it's early though. It's early for them. It's late for me. They didn't stay up all night. I stayed up all night. So yeah, I don't know. They were married, and I'm not having that drama. So they would buy me the hot chocolate, and that would be it. So anyway, okay, back to Vegas. So I was coming here twice a month at least, and having a great old time. And then I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go to college. I flew down here, checked out the Art Institute of Las Vegas, and I didn't see any problem with it, of course, because they're selling me. So I was like, cool, which ended up being a really bad thing, which we're going to do a whole thing about later. But so I decided, all right, cool. I found this apartment right by Barley's, right by the E String. Great for karaoke, good beers. The people there are great. And then within a 15-minute walking, there was Smith's, the grocery store open 24 hours. Everything, 2 restaurants I could eat at, 3 bars. I was like, this is amazing.
And if you walked a little further down, you had the Galaxy Theaters.
Oh, that wasn't there when I moved.
Really?
Yeah, that was just open. Or yeah, there was empty. There was nothing there. That didn't open until like 2015. Because I applied to work there when I quit school.
See, guys, it doesn't matter how much you get paid. All that matters is that you're working where you're happy.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't happen for a lot of people. But you were making $2,000 a week in cash. Dang, dude, so that's $8,000 a month?
Yeah.
Minimum?
And we were just like, and that's where my buddy Bobby, remember, I used to call him, his AKA name was Bobby Schmoke. I mean, this guy, he like, once I got here, I told him, like, dude, you need to come here because.
Oh, I thought you came here with him.
I did, but he went back. So when I stayed here, I'm like, bro, I'm still here. It's like, are you fucking serious? I'm like, dude, it's like the money.
Yeah.
So when he came, I got him a job in there because back then, it's like, it's that saying. It's like who you know. Mm-hmm. You know, they'll get you in. So I got him in.
It still is like that.
You know, yeah, it still is. But the moment I got him in, man, this guy caught on quick, and he started making so much more money than I did.
Was he a busser too?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he was now pulling in more money in the side because he started carrying a pack of cigarettes with him.
Oh.
He started selling them for like $10 a cigarette. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, hey, when people are drunk, they want a cigarette, dude.
Yeah.
They want to fork up money.
Yep.
You know, they're here. They want to show off. You know, they want to flash their stuff. And there was times where I was like, you had like a group of guys. I was like, hey, we need some girls. Like, well, you know, it's going to cost you a bill. I'll bring you some girls, but it's up to them. Whatever they want to do, you know, hang up with you guys, whatever. So he go out there in the dance floor, find some girls that are like just here partying. Like, hey, these guys got a table. They want to have some fun. You don't have to know nothing because they're buying the liquor and that's it. And from there on, what you guys want to do, but they just want to meet some girls. Just meet girls.
Yeah.
So you bring them up there. They give them 2 bills. Boom. I was like, man, this guy's pulling more. So now I was learning from Bobby Schmoke.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't like Vegas because it's like everything is so tip heavy here. Well, that's different. That's a whole different thing. That's a side thing.
That's a side. But the thing is that when you're in a nightclub here in Vegas, it's like you want to feel important. You know.
Yeah.
You got to throw those. You got to throw that money out there.
Yeah.
You know, because like you said, if it's green, it makes it happen.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's how Vegas works.
Yeah. I'm one of those schmucks that like I worked as a bellman, and I was just trying to help people because I wasn't making that kind of money like close, but I was just shocked at how much money I would make in tips just by bringing somebody's bag to their room, just by giving somebody directions, just by basically being nice. And I'm from the Midwest where like being nice is what you do. But here, people are like, oh, here's 10. Thanks for opening my cab door. I'm like, what? Like,
It's like WTF?
Yeah, like one of my first days on the job as a bellman, I'm out, and this cab pulls up, and I open the door for the guy, and I welcome him to the property, like I think I'm supposed to do. And he's like, "Oh, what wonderful service." And he opens his wallet. He goes, "Here you go." He gave me $2. And I was like, I got $2 for opening this guy's door and saying hi and welcome to this property. I was like, this is weird. Like, to me, it blew my mind that didn't make more employees in my position nicer people. But they were more about, like, I need the tip first before I'm nice.
That is true. And so I kind of agree with you there, because a lot of these knuckleheads now, a lot of these people, it's like, well, if I don't see the money, why should I be nice? Or why should I care? I was like, well, you're in a service industry.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in a service industry. I mean, yeah, granted, you know, you'll meet a lot of a-hole peoples.
Yeah.
You know, because it's kind of town. But you also meet a lot of people from different countries, different backgrounds, where it's like tipping is not allowed.
Yeah.
And so to them, it's their custom. So you can't go there, you know, treating everybody. You know what? Hey, you got into this business. You take it as it is. It's a service business.
Yeah, and it's just, that's your job. And like sometimes I get it. I kind of get it, because the guys in my job, I think we're making like $100,000 a year, and then over time that way depleted. And they just weren't happy anymore with how much, like half of that. And then to me, I'm still like, you're making half the money. I was in the Army. I wasn't making this much money in the Middle East getting shot at, carrying, 100 pounds worth of gear.
Yeah, I know
120 degree heat. And then when I was a flight attendant, my hours were ridiculous. Like, I have to be up at 3 in the morning, and the next day I have to be up at 5 in the morning. And then the next day I don't fly out till 2 in the afternoon. And I wasn't making a quarter of that. But I mean, I was making the flight benefits, which I abused. But I was just like, these people in Vegas are so like spoiled.
They are.
And especially, dude, I mean, you get a paid lunch. When I got my first job here, I got a paid lunch and my food was free. I was like, this is amazing. But then like people are, this food sucks. And I'm like, it's free. Like,
yeah.
It's not like there's salads. You can get a salad, which you can't mess up. Like, unless it's moldy, which it never was, because they didn't want to serve you moldy food and make you sick. But yeah, that's it. Vegas, that's what brought us here. And then, I mean, I don't know if I want to stay here. I definitely don't want to have kids here. Clark County, USA, Nevada, is like the worst rated school district in the country. Nevada has the worst high school graduation rate.
And you know what? Now, well, I think that goes like for all other states, unless it's private schools. Mm-hmm. The great thing about here, it's like, you know what? We make that money where you can send your kids to private schools.
Hold on. I'm not making that quite money anymore. I'm not working one of those jobs right now.
So a lot of bartenders, cocktail waitresses, people in the industry, nightclubs, if they have kids, they can send their kids to great schools and make them be better.
Yeah.
But see, they don't have that mentality. Because one, I remember this one cocktail waitress, she said, who's telling her daughter, this is her daughter, she's like, she keeps instilling into her mind, you need to marry a basketball player to make sure you're taken care of. And I was like, wow, you told your daughter that? I go, why don't you tell your daughters, like, hey, you know what? Why don't you get an education that teaches you how to be a businesswoman and build your own wealth? And she looked at me like, well, look what I'm doing. Well, I go, well, yeah, you're not your daughter. She's not you. You decided this path. This is your path.
Yeah.
So now you're instilling your daughter that, hey, she needs to marry a basketball player.
Yeah. Well,
in order to succeed in life. It's like,
she basically is telling her daughter, you're a failure. Find somebody else to be successful.
Exactly.
But why a basketball player?
I don't. Well, her two exes were black guys.
Okay.
And that kind of sounds kind of bad, but they were, and her daughters have black, and she, up to this date, she still keeps crying about Kobe. God rest his soul and his daughter, but
Yeah.
I'm like, so I told her, I was like, how impactful was he in your life? I mean, was he part of your life? She's like, no. So why are you crying?
Okay, hold on. This is getting a little sidetracked.
Yeah, it is.
This
So going back
to what it's like to live in Vegas. It's once you live here, it's like any other town. Honestly, I gamble less now that I'm here. I think it's just some people it's the opposite, but for me, it's like every day. It's not a big deal anymore. Nevada doesn't have an income tax, which is great, but they make up for that in other ways, like car registration. My car registration and my insurance like quadrupled when I moved here.
It's really high.
It's pretty high. So you gotta look at that too. But I mean, it's nice. It's not that bad here. It's hot in the summer. It feels chilly in this winter because it's so hot in the summer. There's no natural disasters. One time it rained so hard here, Juan took a picture of some goldfish flopping around.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. But, yeah, it's not that bad. But like I said, if I ever have kids, I'm getting out of here. Because it's not that great for children. So, thanks for tuning in to episode number 3. If you have any questions,
please email us, Facebook us, Twitter us, and coming soon, YouTube. And so leave your comments and let us know what you guys want to hear and what our opinions are on certain subjects, opinions, politics,
anything.
What the hell's going on.
We're going to talk for you. Actually, this will be up on YouTube, I'm sure. At OIO Pod, Facebook.com/OIO Pod, and Twitter.com/OIO Pod. Email ohitsonpod@gmail.com. Thank you, and tune in again for episode number 4.